starting my videos off with something new, and it seems to be like my thing. So if you haven't been following my channel very closely, I bought a 2022 Royal Enfield Classic 350 just almost a month ago. Jeez Louise. And I got some new saddlebags for it. These are throw-over Geevies. They're waterproof, and it's hard to find the actual Royal Enfield saddlebags around here. You have to order them, special order them through India. So I figured I would share these because if you not only know, we're going to be going on a motorcycle trip this fall, and today's video involves motorcycle stuff as well. So let's get with that. So I'm starting a new series essentially. I don't know what to call it, Advice Sunday or 5 Tips Sunday, or I don't really know what to call it yet. So I'm going to be doing a series where every Sunday I will be posting 5 tips on something, whether it be something of the camera variety, which I think will be, that's where I'll be starting, is a lot of 5 tips on camera gear, or 5 tips on shooting, whatever, or, you know, something to that effect. Right now, I don't know, I'll probably eventually branch that off eventually. The reason I'm doing it is so I can officially have something to post every week. I feel like I've been kind of lazy on that subject, and I'll post like a couple videos here and there every week, and then I'll stop because of work and not finding the time. So I'm hoping that these videos are not that long, and yeah, let's get to it. So you're probably thinking, Matt, why motorcycle gear? Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about cameras and motorcycles? What's going on here? And really, this channel was started to kind of talk about photography and different aspects of photography in a way that people don't really talk about. I feel like a lot of photographers on YouTube talk about the specs that they shoot at, the gear that they use camera-wise and lens-wise, but we don't talk about the journey of getting there. And we don't talk about some of the gear that might be unusual to the passerby. Today, I have my Suzuki Boulevard S40 with me. This tarp was actually on it at one time, and now it's pooched, so that is why it's sitting there. I know I need to mow around it. We just haven't gotten to that. We're not keeping this, actually. We'll be selling it sometime soon. It was supposed to be a small project bike, and ended up being a big project. So we've kind of got tired of dealing with projects this year, and we decided to sell this and get to the Royal Enfield. In order to talk about motorcycle gear and motorcycle gear with cameras, we have to talk about the camera you're using. Now, is bigger always better? Not in this case. Bigger isn't always better. Now, I'm going to be talking about camera gear in the sense of maybe you're going to a nice stroll to the park that's close by, or maybe you're traveling with your motorcycle. I'm going to kind of hit all aspects of that because we have done it both ways. I take it to the park sometimes, but then we've also traveled with our motorcycle. And we will be here soon, so you kind of get a sneak peek of how I'm carrying my camera gear. Now, what do I mean by bigger is not always better with camera gear? Let me tell you an example. I used to have a Nikon D5200. That was what I started with in the interchangeable lens department of cameras. And it was a great camera to start out as a DSLR. It was a beast. It functioned well, but it was super bulky. And trying to carry it on the scooter that I started out on was not necessarily great by any means. So what did I do? I ended up going smaller, because then we talked about having to go on a motorcycle trip and also flying with my camera gear. So I bought the Sony A6000. The Sony A6000 was a great combination of both slim yet a very functional camera for me. I've been able to take it anywhere and everywhere. The kit lens and the body fits perfectly in a Plano hardcover container, and it's just been an amazing addition to my camera gear in general to have such a small camera. Now, as you can see, compared with my Sony a7R IV and my Sony a6000, sometimes bigger is not always better, and the bulkier you get, you're going to be getting bigger cases for that. And for the next tip, that is important. Next tip on this list is waterproof everything. Your bags, your saddlebags may be waterproof or maybe water resistant, but don't trust that. Trust me. You want to have some good gear that will keep that camera from being wet, because you may think that you can trust your saddlebag, but do we really want to have that $800 oops? Now, there's a lot of different options for waterproofing, like these Sea to Summit dry bags that I use constantly every time, or the Matador 2.0 camera base layer with the waterproofing and cushion. There's also different lens cases out there or bags that have options for waterproofing, like this Matador camera lens base layer. And the Plano hardcovers are nice just for the fact that you have that comfort of being able to protect it, but also having the waterproofing as well. So the next tip number 3, is cushioning. You want to have some sort of case or some sort of bag that has cushion for your camera gear, or else you're gonna have it just rattling around in your saddlebag, and you really don't want that, trust me. Now, there's a whole bunch of different options out there as to cushion. Matador makes a nice little bag that has a little bit of cushion if you don't have anything that's hard in your saddlebag that might be rolling around. It's more for a light duty cushion, or you can opt for like something like the Plano waterproof container where your camera is not going anywhere. This is what I have traveled with in the motorcycle quite a bit. I use this all the time for my a6000. It seems to be the better option, and some of them offer ones that have foam in them, as I will show you for the a7R IV. There is Pelican out there that offer a lot of the foam ones. Plano also offers a lot of the foam ones, but you really want to think about cushioning for your camera gear, because we don't want an accident where something's going to happen. Now, also consider that for your lenses as well, but the next thing is also going to be lenses. When traveling with your gear, you want to consider getting lenses that might be multi-use or multi-purpose, so you're not cluttering your saddlebags, especially if you're going on a motorcycle trip with camping gear. You don't want to be cluttering up your saddlebags using valuable space with lenses. Now, I've gotten several lenses. I have gotten the 18 to 300 millimeter Sigma lens, if I can get it out. And this is a dual purpose. 18 to 300 millimeters, that is a great thing for using for landscape because I can get it out wide enough, or I can use it for wildlife photography. If you're very particular on your lenses, there's pancake lenses out there if you do landscape that are super small. I know for the Sony department, and some of your kit lenses work just fine as well, and they are really small as well. But you might want to leave Big Bertha at home, because she will take up a lot of space. I have traveled with this before. When I bought this, it was just before our motorcycle trip in 2019, and it worked out just fine, but consider your options. Sometimes the 18 to 300 mil or 70 to 300 mil will work just fine if you're doing wildlife photography and you just need to get that nice shot. So consider your options on lenses, not just the camera body can be bulky, but also lenses can be bulky as well. Do you really need that one prime lens that you think that you always have to have? Do you need a portrait lens that you might have to use or whatnot? Sometimes our only mode of transportation is motorcycles, and that's how we carry our camera gear. But if you're traveling, like I have, and I will be, you might want to consider multi-purpose lenses. Now do your research on lenses. Make sure you're getting a good lens if you are buying one that's multi-purpose, and make sure it's going to do the things that you need it to do. This last one, I'm gonna like sub in some videos and stuff because I totally forgot about it. Consider when you are traveling with camera gear and the motorcycle, if you're using a camera backpack by any means to transport your camera gear with the motorcycle, which is totally fine. My brother does it all the time, and sometimes I do it as well. But just be mindful if you are stopping in different locations while you're doing that. You might not be able to take that backpack in with you in certain spots. Grocery stores sometimes don't accept that, or even sometimes the gas stations won't let you have them in there, or they will hold it behind the counter until you're ready to leave. Now just be mindful of that. There are options like collapsible backpacks if you do need to carry it around with you, all your camera gear with you when you get to that location. Just kind of be mindful about that. Also be mindful about saddlebags that lock or don't lock, and some of them do lock. Now we have locking saddlebags for the Yamaha Roadstar that we own, but they are like the jankiest locks that we've ever had. They're Viking bags. We're getting rid of the Viking bags. This is ridiculous. Now if you don't have something that locks and you have a buddy system that you're riding with somebody, make sure somebody's with the vehicles at all times. That way nobody comes over, tries to steal your stuff if you don't have a backpack or not carrying it in with you somewhere. Just be mindful of all of that. And I wanted to add a extra bonus tip. Bake it safety first. Talking about camera gear and talking about carrying your camera gear with you gives you the temptation of using your camera gear while you're on the motorcycle. I hear a lot of people go safety third, just jokingly, but I also know some people that is actually their motto. And we want to be mindful of not being distracted while motorcycle riding. You want to take into consideration that that is dangerous and harmful to you, as well as dangerous and harmful to other people. If you are two-upping with somebody and you're a passenger on the motorcycle, make sure that you are aware of where turns are. Make sure you are balancing with that other person, because you can effectively make your guys' selves go into an accident as much as the person controlling the motorcycle. If you're not balancing right, sometimes that tips off the motorcycle when you're turning and creates that unbalancedness that makes it to where you guys will fall. It happens. It does happen. Now, my partner and I have been riding for years now together. Make sure if you are two-upping and you're trying to take pictures while you're two-upping, while on the motorcycle, while it's moving, make sure you are mindful, trust that person, know how to ride with that person. We've rode with each other for years. We have done a lot of that kind of stuff for years. I personally have a sissy bar on the back where I can lean on. That way I don't have to hold on to him, and that helps me actually take pictures on the motorcycle. Now, if you're holding on to somebody, I advise you not to actually take pictures on the motorcycle if you have to hold on to something while riding on the motorcycle on the back. It's not safe. Don't do it. Have a GoPro on you, on your helmet, possibly, or on the handlebars. Now, if you have a GoPro on the handlebars, don't be messing with it while you're riding on the motorcycle. It's another distraction. Just kind of be mindful. There's a lot of places like the Smokies and the Blue Ridge Parkway, and even the Tail of the Dragon down in Tennessee, where there's a lot of curves and a lot of things that you have to pay attention with. So if you are traveling on the motorcycles, or traveling, you know, just to a nearby park or whatever, and you happen to have some of your gear on you, just be mindful to pay attention to what's going on around your surroundings. Be smart about it, be safe. Don't do the safety for third or safety second or whatever you want to say. Make sure that you are being safe about it. And sometimes just don't try try certain things. We kind of get our mindset of, oh, I'll take a picture of this or a video of this, and I'm gonna turn around on the seat or whatever, and sometimes that can cause an imbalance in the bike, causing an accident as well. So make sure you're mindful, make sure you're paying attention, and be safe out there. Before I forget, don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you liked what you've seen. If you also want to see like a bigger version of carrying your camera gear on the motorcycle, I can also do that. I'm also going to post a link of some of the items that I've shown you in this video, as well as a link to my video of alternative camera bag options that I have done recently. Now, I hope you guys ride safe, and we'll see you in the next one.